Amid objection by media professionals, the main opposition Nepali Congress has warned that it would not let the government to put forth the Media Council bill at the parliament, citing that the bill was an attempt to tighten the screws on press freedom. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and let's begin with the main stories of this hour. President Bidya Devi Bhandari returns the passport bill, which was presented to her for certification following endorsement by the House of Representatives. Main opposition Nepali Congress warns the government of not letting the government put forth the Media Council bill at the parliament, citing the bill is against the sentiments of the constitution. Results of the general elections in India to be unveiled today after a long and bitter campaign. Exit polls suggest Prime Minister Modi's re-election. And Nepalese spin prodigy Sandeep Lamichhane selected again for this season's Caribbean Premier League. Rohit Paudel, Dipendra Singh Airi and Sompal Kami not picked. Let's begin with the national political updates. President Bidya Devi Bhandari has returned the passport bill, which was presented to her for certification following endorsement by the House of Representatives. Based on sub-article 3 of Article 113 of the Constitution, President Bhandari returned the bill for reconsideration on its arrangements. According to the constitutional provision, the President can return bills for reconsideration within 15 days except for the finance bill. The Parliament Secretariat had presented the bill to the President for certification when it was undergoing amendments at the National Assembly. Lawmakers of the National Assembly had expressed their discontent after the Parliament Secretariat had forwarded the bill to the President for certification prior to tabling the discussion held at issue-related committees at the full meeting for a final decision. President Bhandari had held consultations with lawmakers duo Radheshyam Adhikari and Ram Narayan Bidari yesterday. The passport bill, which was endorsed by the House of Representatives on the third week of September last year, had a provision of giving government offices the authority to put passports on hold. The Statute Committee of the National Assembly had prepared an amendment report considering the provision as against the fundamental right. The main opposition Nepali Congress has warned the government it will not let the government put forth the Media Council bill at the parliament, citing the bill is against the sentiments of the Constitution. At the session of the House of Representatives held yesterday, Nepali Congress stated that the Media Council bill proposed by the government attempted to tighten press freedom. Nepali Congress Whip Pushpa Bhusal drew the session's attention towards the potential of control the bill would have over press freedom and urged the government to revoke the bill. It has already been a week since the government registered the bill at the parliament. Communications Minister and government spokesperson Gokul Baskota was present at the parliament while the lawmakers were protesting. Minister Baskota responded to the requests from the lawmakers to reconsider the bill related to advertisements, however, did not speak about the Media Council bill. Minister Baskota urged all to not doubt the government's proposition for the advertisement bill, as the proposed provisions intended to better manage the advertisement market. The next session of the House of Representatives is scheduled for 27th of May. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. U.S. Ambassador to Nepal, Randy Berry, has caused a stir in Nepalese social media after uploading a video stating that he would start an interaction program called Chit Chat with Ambassador Berry with the followers of the embassy. While the Nepal government has stayed silent on the ambassador's latest move, the public at large have criticized it on social platforms. Former secretaries have criticized the ambassador's move on social media, citing it as against the diplomatic norms and an interference on Nepal's internal affairs. Former Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Durga Prasad Bhattarai, tweeted saying that the ambassador had ignored diplomatic norms and the interests of the country itself and warned the Nepal government to stay aware of the results. Bhattarai also warned of the necessity to clarify the basis on which Berry's conversation with the public would be held in order to avoid any untoward circumstance. Former Foreign Secretary Madhuraman Acharya tweeted the U.S. ambassador had taken the initiative as the Nepal government did not provide adequate information on the government's latest activities and development projects to the U.S. Embassy. Likewise, international affairs expert Tika Prasad Dhakal has questioned if the ambassador has as much reputation or value for the public to hold such programs. There is a general call for the government to clarify its stance on the ambassador's initiative at the earliest. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has sought information from U.S. Ambassador to Nepal Randy Berry after he announced that he would start direct interaction with Nepalese citizens on social media. During a one-on-one meeting yesterday, Foreign Secretary Shankar Das Bairagi put forth concerns with regard to the U.S. ambassador's announcement of starting an online discussion platform called Chit Chat with Ambassador Berry, among others. According to the Foreign Ministry's sources, Berry responded by saying that it has already been 72 years since the U.S. government got connected with Nepal and its citizens, and that the mutual dialogues and consultations have continued since then. The official stance of the Foreign Ministry regarding the issue has yet to be unveiled. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: why has house rent continued to rise despite the rates of other sectors remaining as it is? Your options are A, high-handedness of house owners, B, lack of monitoring, and C, expensive construction expenses. The voting is on. Type in EWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
Nepalese spin prodigy Sandeep Lamichhane has been picked again for the Caribbean Premier League CPL. Barbados Tridents picked Sandeep in the 5th round of the draft held in London last night. Players selected in the 5th round receive at least $70,000 US. This is the highest amount Sandeep has officially received in T20 tournaments so far. Sandeep had received $5,000 when he played for St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots last season, where he claimed 7 wickets in 5 matches he played. Sandeep received 2 million Indian rupees when he played for Delhi Capitals at this season's Indian Premier League. The amount he received when he played at the Australian Big Bash has not been revealed yet. Barbados Tridents, the team Sandeep will be playing for in this CPL season, has star players the likes of Jason Holder, Shai Hope, and Alex Hales. Nepalese players Rohit Paudel, Dipendra Singh Airi, and Sompal Kami were in the list of 530 cricketers of 20 nations alongside Sandeep. FIFA has abandoned plans championed by its president to expand the 2022 World Cup to include 48 teams, concluding that it could not host the larger tournament in Qatar or come up with a solution to share the event with the tiny Gulf Emirates neighbors. The expansion proposal, proposed and pressed by FIFA's president Gianni Infantino, might have proved to be a popular one if presented for a vote by FIFA's member associations at the organization's annual Congress next month in Paris. But an ongoing political and economic blockade of Qatar by some of its neighbors, most notably Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, created intractable practical obstacles that could not be overcome. The decision ensures that the first 48-team World Cup will be the one awarded to the United States, Mexico, and Canada in 2026. It also will come as a relief to Qatar, which has invested billions of dollars in infrastructure and untold amounts of national pride in hosting the first World Cup in the Arab world. And it's time now for our special segment, Glorious History.
President Richard Nixon became the first American president to visit Moscow on May 22, 1972. 4 days later, Nixon and Soviet Russia's leader Leonid Brezhnev signed a pact pledging to freeze nuclear arsenals at current levels. Nixon ended American involvement in the war in Vietnam in 1973, brought the American POWs home, and ended the military draft. Nixon's visit to China in 1972 eventually led to diplomatic relations between the two nations, and he initiated Detente and the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty with the Soviet Union the same year. His administration generally transferred power from Washington, D.C. to the states. Napoleon Bonaparte became Emperor of France on May 18, 1804, snatching the crown from the hands of Pope Pius VII during the actual coronation ceremony and then crowning himself. At age 26, he began his first military campaign against the Austrians and the Italian monarchs aligned with the Habsburgs, winning virtually every battle, conquering the Italian peninsula in a year while establishing sister republics with local support and becoming a war hero in France. In 1798, he led a military expedition to Egypt that served as a springboard to political power. He orchestrated a coup in November 1799 and became first consul of the Republic.
And now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. President Vidya Devi Bhandari returns the passport bill, which was presented to her for certification following endorsement by the House of Representatives. Main opposition Nepali Congress warns the government of not letting the government put forth the Media Council bill at the parliament, citing the bill is against the sentiments of the Constitution. Results of the general elections in India to be unveiled today after a long and bitter campaign. Exit polls suggest Prime Minister Modi's re-election. And Nepalese spin prodigy Sandeep Lamichhane selected again for this season's Caribbean Premier League. Rohit Paurel, Dipender Singh Airi and Sompal Kami not picked. And that's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good morning.